Let's look at Lockheed Martin. First off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. Okay, we can find Lockheed Martin under an economic signal that I call warfare. Here you can see the performance vis-a-vis the total world stocks ETF, the WT. So we are seeing some outperformance. However, when we look at Lockheed Martin, it is one of the more mediocre stocks in this theme, but let's see whether that is a benefit or not. Okay, let's look at the company's website. So here is Lockheed. They are definitively in the defense business. So what we do, so here you can see, autonomous and artificial intelligence, directed energy, hypersonics, aircrafts, cyber. Yeah, so a relatively broad portfolio. So let's, view all products. Also, they have exposure to the space industry. So here you can see a bunch of images, even train management. One of the things I find most interesting is definitively space exploration. Also, cyber kill chain. What is that? So let's look a bit at it. Okay, so I mean, very informative website. So this is pretty impressive. Yeah, there's tons of content here. I mean, you can just scroll forever. But what is this? So developed by Lockheed Martin, it's a part of the intelligence-driven defense model for identification and prevention of cyber intrusions activity. Yeah. Let's look at the seasonality first. LMT is the ticker. We can see that January is, it's a decent month, but we can see that it gets better here heading into February, March, and April. April very strong, closing higher 74% of the time. Let's look at it against the defense ETF, ETA. So there usually is outperformance from Lockheed Martin in January. That's interesting. I'm talking about this ETF. This is the benchmark, iShares US Aerospace and Defense, ETA. Lockheed is, of course, a major stock in that ETF. Here you can see all the history we have. Been some pretty decent moves, but we can also see that Lockheed Martin, it is a separate animal. So let's look here at the recovery after the dot-com bubble. We can see here actually that Lockheed had a pretty sizable bear market. It just all of a sudden decided to have a bit of a bear, went down minus 38-ish%. Then we have a big rally. Here we have the financial crisis, which was something that many experienced, but Lockheed, it didn't really have that immediate recovery. It was shuffling along, didn't really break out until 2012, and then it really went for a surge. Then it decided to have another bear market, going down minus 33-ish%. A key part of the reason is that Donald Trump, which was perceived as this great tyrant, the most dangerous person on the planet, Trump was actually not big into war. He was big on, upgrading the military arsenal of the United States, but he really didn't want to get into the eternal wars, as he called it. Now that Biden is taking over, Biden, he has been involved in quite a few wars. Hence, as far as interventionism goes, that could be bullish for Lockheed Martin, even though, of course, there are ethical issues. My personal take on war is that I don't have that simplistic idea that war is always just inherently bad. The key thing about war is that you should only invade a country if you will leave it better than when you entered. So it must become better. The big problem with many of the wars that we have had recently, basically for the last 100 years, is that they haven't made the invaded country necessarily better. It's been destructive, which of course is bad. Anyway, looking here at the charts, the reason why I find Lockheed quite interesting is that we have support here, major bull market. We were dancing around the 200-week moving average here in red, major rally, here, rally. We are now testing it again. What is a bit of an issue for Lockheed is that sometimes we do certainly slip a bit deeply below that key support level. If you look here at the RSI, you can see this line that is drawn. It is clear that there is a support level also on the RSI here when it comes to that horizontal line. Buyers tend to step up. Looking at the PPO, that tells us the distance from the 200-week moving average. And you can see that more often than not, when we do approach that zero line, buyers step in, which is interesting. The correlation here with S&P 500 is 62% positive, so not that strong, but there is some strength. The recent correlation is minus 37%. So basically they have become disconnected, which is interesting. Here we can see that there is some horizontal support level that we have here. Also interesting. If you look here at the RSI, we have reached a zone where buyers tend to step up. So basically, when you look at the chart, it is clear that the bears are still in control, but there are reasons to be, cautiously optimistic. If you look here, Finviz to draw this trend line, finding support there. There is a resistance line up here. What I like to look at is the difference between the analyst price target and the current price. That suggests a 25% upside. If you look at the PE, the PE of the ETF and the PE of Lockheed Martin, then you can see that as far as the price earning goes, Lockheed is trading at a minus 28% discount. So that's also bullish. If you look here at Saks.com, they do have a number 3 hold, but an A value score, A growth, and D momentum, VGM of A. That's good. Very juicy dividend, 3%. If you look here at the dividend here for the ETF, that is only 1.71%. Looking at holdings here, you can see that Lockheed is top 3. So basically, to sum up my take here on Lockheed Martin. Looking at the theme, there is reason to suspect that there will be more interventionism in the not too distant future. That would be bullish for these kinds of stocks. Looking at seasonality, that was promising for Lockheed. The charts certainly shows that the bears have been a bit, aggressive as of late. But it could be that the bears are reaching exhaustion. There's a bit of a constellation of some bullish signals that could scare away the bears. And of course, the key thing is to buy low and sell high. And when you see a key stock like this reaching key support levels, horizontal moving averages, RSI, also looking at fundamentals, certainly seems like the stock has become quite undervalued. Yeah, I am feeling more bullish than bearish on Lockheed. And I think those of you who always thought that Trump is so super scary and aggressive, I think you might have a bit of a rude awakening when you see the kind of interventionism that the coming administration has in mind.